Welcome back, everyone. My name is Ember, and today we are continuing our One Piece journey with Volume 30. 30 volumes in, and we are nearing the end of Skypiea. I believe this will end in another volume and some change, I think. But, so this covers chapters 276 to 285. So this starts with, what's it start with? We have, right, this is right after Eneru revives himself. He uses, like, the electric, like, bird attack on Wiper. And it goes all the way up through when Eneru begins, like, his destruction of Skypiea. So there was a lot of combat in this one, but also a lot of just more general character building and stuff as well. And there's a whole lot of stuff in this volume, actually. I want to make sure I say this all the time that I'm going to forget shit as I go, but that's just how it goes sometimes. I got so much stuff to say about a single volume. Like, I think there was a comment at one point that said I should just do this arc by arc instead of volume by volume, but I would lose track of so many details if I did this arc by arc, because I would be condensing so many thoughts into one video that would take like an hour and something to record. But in any case, so Luffy shows up to fight Eneru in this one a little bit earlier than I expected. It only took a few chapters of this one to get Luffy into the fight. But, he really goes at it. And I guess I should have seen it coming. Oda just goes with the very obvious, Luffy is made of rubber, and rubber doesn't conduct electricity. Like, I'm not upset by it, but it's like, I should have realized that the answer was a lot simpler than I thought it was going to be. And just the realization that his attacks weren't going to work. I want to find this fucking face that he makes. Where is it? This fucking face that Eneru makes. This one right here. Fucking iconic, like, what the fuck kind of face. Like a, what? Fucking amazing. And then, of course, followed up with a great spread of just Luffy dominating Eneru. So that was cool. They really played around a lot with his lightning powers in this. One of my favorite details of it is that the reason why Eneru is obsessed is after the gold from the Shandora ruins, not because he's not for the obvious reason of gold is valuable, but because he uses it as a conductor for his electricity power so that he can power this giant arc that he's flying through. Like, I forgot where I heard this from, but it's like, there's this idea, like, even if you, like, completely reset all of society, like, culturally and, like, in terms of, like, social interaction and stuff and all of our cultural assets and stuff, gold would still retain its value because it is the most plentiful superconductor that we have available to us. So, as opposed to just pirates seeing it as gold and gold is worth money, Eneru sees it as, like, this is an important resource for him so that he can use electricity. Like, I think this is the first time that we've actually seen, like, electrical engineering stuff in One Piece, as far as I know. I don't know what those snail phone things run on, but I think this is the first time we've just flat out seen electrical devices used. So, pretty interesting that its introduction comes from basically a lightning god. Very kind of interested in how he figured that out, though, considering that we haven't seen it anywhere else. So that was a really cool detail. Really loved that. And of course, the fight evolves to where, well, obviously, if he can't hurt Luffy with just the straight out electric attacks. He can find other ways around that to hurt Luffy. Like, he makes that gold rod. I think it's made of gold or something. He makes like a gold rod that he like can stab Luffy with. Obviously finds out that Luffy's still vulnerable to slashing attacks. And the fact that he like heats up the rod too. Like, Luffy is susceptible to heat attacks. So that was a really... That's what I was fucking running into. Anyway, this fight is evolving in really interesting ways that I didn't expect. And like, Eneru traps Luffy's arm in a giant ball of gold, which... this fucking joke... Like, Viz didn't translate this joke, but it's like, at one point Luffy says, get this giant golden ball away from me or something, and one of the Aisa reacts like, don't say it like that. And it's, the reason for that is in Japanese, gold ball would be kintama, which is also a slang term for testicles. So I know this because they reference it in Gintama a lot. But so that was my vague knowledge of Japanese let me in on that joke there, because otherwise I would have totally been out of the loop. But yeah, this fight really evolves in some interesting ways. Like, we have Nami kind of in the fray with this. Like, at first she's just like, yeah, sure, whatever, dude, I'll go with you, whatever. And like, it's sort of riding the line between like, she's obviously doing it to save her own skin. She's not betraying anyone. She's just like in that moment trying to save her own skin. But eventually it just reaches the point where she's just like, I can't look at you like anymore. I hate you, Eneru, and I'm just, if I gotta die like everyone else, I'm gonna die. So, I like that there's still a little bit of weakness to Nami. Like, she hasn't 100% moved past that. So, like, I like when character development is a little more gradual. Like, the residuals of her past are still kind of with her in some weird ways, but she's obviously still working towards overcoming that still. And I like when Luffy finally shows up. He doesn't really like chastise her for any of that. Like, basically all he says is, "You're making our crew look weak," and like, that's all the motivation she needed. So like Luffy, there's a lot of understanding without. I'm actually kind of shocked at how subtle some of the dialogue is in this. Like, with a lot of other Jump properties, I'm not saying this is a knock against other Jump properties, because I actually kind of like this writing style, but with a lot of stuff, they really spell out exactly what they're trying to say with every single word that they say, and like, characters are always very clear exactly about how they feel about stuff, either through their dialogue or through a series of flashbacks or inner monologues and such. But One Piece actually has a lot less of that than the typical Shonen Jump series. At least, I think it does. So, that's interesting. I just realized that just now, that it's a little bit, surprisingly, the most cartoony Shonen Jump series is a bit subtle. Bravo, Oda. Bravo for that. Another little bit of subtlety I liked is, like, I had noticed this before, but there was one particular panel where she just says it in rapid succession. Like, Robin at this point still really doesn't refer to any of the Straw Hats by name. She'll refer to them by their like role, like Zoro's like swordsman, and Nami is navigator, and like so she's not really, she doesn't consider herself part of the crew yet based on that, because she's not letting herself get familiar with the Straw Hats. She's not trying to become friends with them. She's just a passive member of the crew. So that was another little cool bit of dialogue that conveys characterization in a bit of a roundabout way. I had another... Oh, this is just a random thought that I probably should have realized back in, like, volume 4 or 5. And I don't know if this is true or not, but I'm gonna assume it might be related. In regards to Usopp's name, so is the Uso in Usopp, like, is Oda referencing the word Uso, like the Japanese word Uso, which means lie, because Usopp is the big liar of the group? I don't know why I just made that connection, like 26 volumes after Usopp was introduced, but here we are. So, if that is the case, then that's a nice little play around with wordplay. And like it shows up in other stuff too. Like Nami's name. Nami, I believe, is like, it's some kind of ocean related term. I don't remember exactly what it means, but Nami I do believe is some kind of sea related word. So which makes sense since she's the navigator. So I'll have to look into other characters' names to see how they if they reflect some of their characteristics. Wow, I just went on a bunch of tangents that I just thought of in this moment, and I still have so much other stuff to talk about with this volume. I think I do. I'm losing track. Oh yeah, so okay, so we had Conus going back to warn the villagers and stuff. Obviously, at first they're all running away from her and such. I'm trying to remember what the turning point was for her. Dang it, I'm trying to remember what was like the turn where like the villagers go from like, okay, here's the chapter. Shit, now I'm... Right, yes, that's what it was. So, like, she's going around saying bad shit about Eneru, and the villagers are like, oh, Eneru's gonna strike her down. But after some time passes, they're like, well, hold on, at this point, Eneru would have fucking zapped her by this point. Like, in terms of past experience, all the other criminals who speak out against him have gotten zapped by this point. But he's so busy with his master plan, and he just doesn't care at this point, because he sees himself as the winner already, that it doesn't matter what everyone else does. So, like, the wheels start to turn in the villagers' heads, like, what's going on? Why has she not been zapped for her blasphemy? And then we get this big moment of the White Berets deciding to side with her, and this big kind of emotional breakdown of how they were basically just trying to keep the citizens safe because they knew they couldn't fight back against Eneru. They knew that it was better to just keep the citizens in line for their own safety, which is why they decided to side with him as opposed to try and fight him back. So, really like that. Again, the politics in One Piece are just so fucking good. Like, I think One Piece might have the best politics out of any Shonen Jump series I've read so far. Like, I think Hunter x Hunter might be the only one with better politics. Maybe Yu Yu Hakusho. But that only in the anime, not in the manga. Well, maybe in the manga. Who knows? I'd have to reread it. But, in any case, yeah, One Piece's politics are so fucking interesting and intricate, and there's just so they're so multi-layered, and there's so many different sides to it, which is how politics actually works, how political discourse works. And so it's a really interesting way to structure your stories. What else? I liked Sanji and Usopp's intervention against Eneru as they try to save Nami, where they kind of split off. Usopp distracts Eneru until they can both get off the ship, while Sanji is just fucking up the mechanical stuff, all the gears and shit below deck. Nice little plan, little 1-2 punch there. Oh yeah, that was another thing. It's been a while since like some of the comedy has really made me like laugh out loud. Like the comedy hasn't gotten worse, but it's more that I've gotten used to the comedy, I think. Like it's not surprising me as much anymore. But then there was this moment, fuck, what was it? It was Nami and Usopp. Fucking where? Damn it, now I really want to find this panel. It annoys me that I don't remember where it is. But like there was this one moment with Nami and Usopp. Fuck it. Whatever. Like there was this one moment where like Nami and Usopp were just like kind of like basically just making like almost small talk kind of, and then Eneru just sends a lightning bolt at him, and then they have to fucking skedaddle out of the way. And just the way it was paneled was just so it made me laugh out loud, just the way it flowed and stuff. I wish I could fucking find it. Oh well. But yeah, this was a really strong volume. Is there anything else in here that I'm forgetting? I'm sure there is. Oh yeah. Fucking this absolute fucking badass Sanji moment. He's like, yeah, I was just thinking I wanted a light after fucking Eneru zaps him, and that's what lights his cigarette. But yeah, really cool Sanji moment. And again, I really like that Eneru's lightning power creates this like harsh lighting, just these stark black and whites. Really makes for some interesting artwork. I think that's about all I have to say, I think. Yeah, I think that's pretty much everything. Yeah. I think I've said enough. This is probably a really long video already, but yeah. Super excited to see where the rest of this arc goes. Very excited to see how, because at this point Eneru is just lightning bombing the shit out of all of Skypiea. So we'll see how Luffy and the Straw Hats are able to combat his evil schemes and such. I think there's only like a volume and change of Skypiea left, so I'm very interested in seeing how that goes. But in any case, that's it for this video. Be sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment about what you thought and all that stuff. And if there's anything that I forgot to mention, this volume was so fucking packed with ideas that I'm sure I missed something. But so feel free to leave a comment about it in the comment section below. And my name is Ember, and I'll see you next time.